Part 1 of The Haunting Detour. As Robert drove home on a moonless night, he couldn't have predicted the terror that awaited him. The familiar route had been blocked off due to roadwork, forcing him to take a detour down a narrow, winding road he'd never traveled before. The darkness seemed to close in around him as the road became more desolate with each mile. He tried to stay calm, his grip on the steering wheel tightening as the trees leaned in ominously, casting eerie silhouettes that danced in the headlights' glow. The air grew thick with tension, and the only sound was the soft hum of his engine. Then he began to see them, shapes among the trees. At first, he dismissed them as tricks of the shadows, but they grew more defined, more sinister. Faces, twisted and contorted, emerged from the darkness. Their hollow eyes bore into him, and their mouths seemed to move in silent screams. Robert's heart pounded in his chest as he accelerated, desperate to escape the nightmarish apparitions. But the road seemed endless, and the figures in the trees multiplied, their spectral forms pressing closer. He couldn't look away, couldn't escape their haunting gaze. As he drove on, the road itself seemed to twist and turn, leading him deeper into the heart of the forest. Panic seized him, and he knew he had to find a way out, but every turn he took only brought him face to face with more nightmarish visions. Just when he thought he couldn't bear it any longer, he saw a faint glimmer of light up ahead. It was a small, dilapidated cabin nestled in the woods. Desperation drove him to pull into the cabin's driveway, hoping to find help or some respite from the horrors that pursued him. The cabin's door creaked open with an eerie groan as Robert cautiously stepped inside. The interior was dimly lit by a flickering candle, casting long, wavering shadows on the walls. A sense of foreboding washed over him, but he had no other choice. In the corner of the room, he noticed an old, tattered diary. It lay open on a wooden table, its pages filled with scrawled, desperate writing. The diary chronicled the experiences of someone who had taken the same detour and had seen the same terrifying apparitions in the trees. The final entry was chilling. They never let me leave. Their faces haunt me, and their whispers fill my mind. I can't escape. Don't make the same mistake. Get out while you still can. Robert's blood ran cold as he realized the cabin was a trap, a place where those who ventured down this cursed road met their end. He turned to leave, but the door slammed shut, and the candle extinguished itself, plunging him into darkness. The spectral figures closed in, their twisted faces illuminated only by the faint moonlight that seeped through the cabin's cracked windows. Robert's screams echoed through the night as the forest claimed another victim, forever lost to its sinister secrets. And so, the chilling tale of the man who took a detour down an unfamiliar road, only to be tormented by nightmarish visions and trapped in a cabin of horrors, serves as a warning to those who dare to venture into the unknown. Beware the roads less traveled, for they may lead to a darkness from which there is no escape. The Haunted Detour, Part 2, The Brothers' Redemption. It had been months since Robert's disappearance on that fateful night. His brother David couldn't shake the guilt that gnawed at him. He couldn't help but feel responsible for letting Robert take that cursed detour alone. The haunting memories haunted his every waking moment. One day, David stumbled upon a news article about the strange occurrences on that forsaken road. Reports of missing persons and bizarre sightings in the woods had surged since that night. It was as though the road itself hungered for souls, luring unsuspecting travelers into its deadly grasp. Desperation drove David to search for answers. He retrieved Robert's old smartphone from a drawer and turned it on. His fingers shook as he accessed the location services, hoping to find some trace of his lost brother. To his shock, the phone displayed a map with a series of recent pings along the sinister road. With a renewed sense of purpose, David embarked on a journey to find his brother, following the trail of location markers on the map. As he drove the winding path, he couldn't shake the sense of unease that settled over him. The darkness pressed in, and he could almost feel the eyes of the twisted figures in the trees upon him. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the shadows seemed to whisper secrets, warning him to turn back. But he pressed on, his determination fueled by love and guilt. David couldn't let his brother become another victim of the road's malevolent curse. At a particularly sinister bend in the road, David's car suddenly stalled, and the figures in the trees grew more menacing. Fear surged through him as he felt an oppressive presence, but he refused to be deterred. He reached into his pocket and pulled out Robert's smartphone, using the faint signal to triangulate the location of the last ping. With each step he took, the forest seemed to come alive with malevolent intent. David's heart pounded as he approached a dilapidated cabin, the same cabin where Robert had met his terrifying end. The cabin door creaked open, and David hesitated before stepping inside. In the dim light, he found Robert's diary, filled with the same harrowing accounts of the haunting detour. But there was something else. The final entry had changed, as if written by Robert's tortured spirit. "Find your way out, David. The road is a hungry beast that devours souls. I'm here with the others. Help us." The realization hit David like a thunderbolt. Robert's spirit was trapped here among the countless lost souls who had ventured down this cursed road. He needed to find a way to save his brother, to free him from the clutches of this malevolent force. David's phone began to glitch and flicker, and then a voice emerged from the static, Robert's voice. "Follow the light, David. It's the only way out." A dim, ghostly light appeared, leading David through the labyrinthine darkness. As he followed the spectral light, David felt the presence of his brother's spirit guiding him. The figures in the trees retreated, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. It was as though Robert's ghost was shielding him from the malevolent forces that lurked in the woods. Finally, David emerged from the forest, stumbling out onto the familiar highway. He was free, and so was Robert, their spirits forever changed by the ordeal. But David knew he had to share their cautionary tale. He had to warn others not to venture down that haunted detour, for the road hungered for souls, and once it had you in its grasp, there might be no escape. In the end, the brothers' story became a chilling legend, a cautionary tale for those who dared to travel the road less traveled. And as for David, he carried the memory of his brother's sacrifice, a reminder of the darkness that lurked in the hearts of the unknown. Thank you for listening to my short story. Please like and subscribe to the channel.